Hi everyone, so I'm going to show you how to cut an object out of a background and put it on a new background. So I've just got this screenshot image I've used. You can see there's watermarks on it and that's totally fine. So the way I'm going to cut out my object here is I'm going to use my pen tool. It's formerly called the Bezier Curves tool because you can make curves. And I'm going to just make that nice and curved. I use Option if I want to bring my little arm off my anchor point back in. So when I click, that's a new anchor point. Then I can drag the arm and make it into a curve. There's a slight curve here. And then clicking Option or Alt on a PC, you can drag that little anchor or that arm back to your anchor point. I'll zoom back out so you can get a better picture here. And you just click around. I'm just going to do this rather quickly now. And then when you have it back to the very starting point or your first anchor, you'll see that the pen tool then has a little circle beside it, showing that you're about to complete the selection. So here we are, we've got the selection made. I can click over in paths and you can see I've got a work path here. And then back into this layer, I'm going to right click and make that an actual selection. I'm not going to feather the radius because if we feather the radius, it's going to be not as precise as what we've just done. It's going to adjust the radius on it. So now that I've got this as a selection, my object as a selection, I'm going to click Command J and duplicate it. So if I hide my first layer and make it not visible, you'll see that my object is now on a transparent background. And that's what I want. I'm going to add another layer. I'm just going to call this white. And I'm going to put it below my second layer there. And using my paint bucket tool, I'm just going to fill in the background with pure white. Now this looks pretty good, but it does kind of look like it's just floating there. So one way that you can actually anchor or ground your object is by double clicking on the layer that your object is in. So in my case, layer 2. And it's going to give the layer styles dialog box. When I go down and click on drop shadow, you'll see that a shadow showed up. So I can adjust my shadow and change the different areas that I'm seeing the shadow in. I think I'm going to do something like that. And I can also change the distance. So I can make my shadow far away or super close. The spread, you can adjust the spread. I personally prefer a lower spread. I think it looks more natural. And then the size. You can also change the opacity. So if you want a super dark shadow, you can do that. And if you want a lighter shadow, you can do that as well. Just going to adjust the size there a bit more. And that looks a lot more natural. When you're happy with it, all you have to do is click OK. And there you have a product that's been cut out, put on a new background, and added in a drop shadow.